Hey guys, this is Royle with That's Bowhunting. Mathews just sent us this special package. We just got the new 2020 VXRs in. This is a 31.5. We're gonna unbox them and get into it, man. Let's do it. The new Mathews VXR. We just got these in. It's the new green ambush. This thing is sharp, it's really clean. Got my blue strings on here, my blue Ascent here, and we're getting ready to set this thing up. We're going to the Vapor Trail rest, but I've got this one at 75 pounds, and it's 29-inch draw length. I went with 80% mods instead of the 85, just because I like a little heavier hold weight, and we're ready to get this thing set up. All right, we got her all in the vise there. We're gonna put the rest on next. This is the Vapor Trail Gen 7X. This is actually JC's rest, this red one. My rest is this blue one. Mine's the original Gen 7. The Gen 7X has got micro adjust, as well as you can attach it to the bottom or top limb. Where mine, you can only attach it to the top limb, but I think that's the best way to attach it anyway, so we're gonna get this thing set up. So I gotta get this center shot set. Needs to be at 13/16 of an inch. All right, now we're gonna attach our limb cord. Cool thing about this limb-driven system, if something happens in the field and I stretch this cord or I break this cord, I can literally tie it together with my shoestring and continue and not have to come out of the field, go to a bow press, go to a bow shop or anything of that sort. This is with this Vapor Trail Gen 7 rest, just like the original Pro V. Really like the fact that it's really reliable and really simple. The less moving parts, the less chance I have of something failing. And with this one, all I gotta do is look at the rest. And if my arm is down on the rest, then it is ready to go. Keeps me confident in the field. All right, so we're gonna get the D-loop put on this bow. So I'm gonna get it straightened up here. We're gonna get it leveled up and make sure we got her good and level. Well, that was lucky. And we'll slide this. Case any. All right, make sure she's good and level. So that's key for this step. There we go, okay. I gotta loosen this bolt, let this arm come back up so it'll cradle my arrow. Snap it on the center serving. We want to get it level, perfectly level, right through the burger hole. I'm going to take this gray Sharpie and mark my top knocking point. Slightly tip it forward. So now we're gonna take a piece of white BCY serving, and doing my soft knots, it's just a simple half hitch. It's not a fancy knot. So half hitch, I'm gonna half hitch it on the front side. I'm gonna do this about 4 times. That makes my top knock. So now we're gonna burn these ends and touch them in. Make sure that sets nice. Same thing, I'm gonna roll it around here so I don't burn my serving. There's my top knock. Now I'm gonna snap my arrow back on here. When I tie this bottom knock, I'm gonna leave just a touch of space, and not much, but just a hair. So I want a little bit of movement in that arrow. I don't want it to pinch. So just about right there. And again, I'm gonna go about 4. 1, 2. I'm gonna go 5 on this one just so I end up on the back side of my string. It makes it easier to burn it. Just like that. I'm gonna pop it off. I'm gonna burn it. Same thing on this side, burn it. Smash that in nice. Now, I've pre-cut my D-loop here. I always cut mine a little bit long, but I'm gonna take my finger, I'm gonna flare that out. So I'm gonna burn this in, make a nice mushroom. We don't want this D-loop coming off, so let it cool for a second. I'm gonna take my lighter and smash it, get a good flat, nice burr on that end. And when you're tying this D-loop, you always want your knots opposing. Always on a right-handed bow, I always start where the burn end is coming off the right-hand side if I'm behind the bow, and then do the opposite, because that angle, if I'm shooting any kind of handheld release and I go up, that D-loop's gonna be more in position. It's gonna torque my string less, so. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna leave it about like that. I don't know. We'll see what. Never measured that, so we'll measure it. Just so you guys know. That's about a little over 1/8 of an inch that I'm leaving out. I'm gonna kind of just snug that by hand. Cut this end off. Be super careful you don't cut your string. That would be bad on the new bow. Burn that. Same thing, just like I did the top. Touch it with the lighter. And then make sure she's in position. I'm gonna snug her down. So that's about where I like my D-loop, which I'll give you a measurement what that ends up pulling out to. That is right at, if you go to the back side of that D-loop, at 5/8 of an inch. And that's coming off the string. Well, take that back. So if we go straight to the string, you're roughly at the back, it's about 3/4, so about 3/4 of an inch. And that's plenty, and it'll stretch out just probably a touch more. So roughly about 3/4 is about where I'm gonna have my D-loop, so. All right, now we'll go to the next step and we'll slide the peep sight in. All right, let's get her in the press and get this peep sight in. All right, we're gonna mount up the Total Peep here. This is the 3/16 Peep by Total Peep. It's a composite material. It's a little bigger than most Peeps, but the composite makes it light. It's a little bit heavier than your average Peep, but that weight's gonna pay for itself in the non-glare of this Peep, and the fact that it can be off center just a little bit, canted one way or another, and you're still gonna get a perfect oval. So let's get this thing mounted up. Now, Peep looks good. We'll have to kind of rotate your D-loop just a hair to kind of get it lined up with that Peep. And we're gonna draw this bow back and check the Peep height before I tie it in. And but we got it in there and we're good to go. We're gonna take her out of the press and give it a draw check. All right, we're gonna get her put back in the vise over here, and then we'll mount up our Blackgold sight. This is the Blackgold Ascent Verdict. It's a 5-pin. JC and I both run this sight. This one's off my old bow. I just pulled it off. We're gonna get it mounted up here, and that way I'll have a reference to set my Peep. While I'm mounting the sight, I'm gonna go ahead and put my Tight Spot Quiver bracket on. That way, I'm a little ahead of the game. Don't have to do this later. Not gonna over tighten this bracket just because I'm probably gonna adjust it once I mount the quiver. All right, now we're gonna pull it out of the vise, do a quick couple draws and check my Peep height and make sure it's where it needs to be before we tie it in. So I'm drawing back with my eyes closed, getting my anchor point, and then opening my eyes. And I can tell my Peep's got to come up. A pretty good piece, so I'm gonna shove it up about 1/4 inch. Kind of twist it and line it back up. We're gonna do it one more time. She's still a little bit low. We're gonna push her up a little bit more. She's kind of twisting on me, so get it lined around there. That's about right. So we've got a little bit of a twist in that. It's rotated around backwards pretty much. So what we'll do now is take it back over to the press it, just flip my Peep around so we don't have to twist the string. So anytime you're gonna tie a Peep on, if you'll notice this groove that goes all the way around, if you don't have serving tied in that groove, then your Peep is not properly tied in, because that keeps it from flying out if anything goes wrong, a dry fire, anything like that. That could save your eye. And so I'm just doing a couple small half hitches, and I'm gonna come over here to the side and finish that half hitch. Because then I'm gonna go up each side from there. Wrap my way up. And this is going to keep it from sliding up and down. Come on. About 5 wraps. I'm going to go the other way. 1, 2. Oh, better tighten up my vise. 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna come back down here. Pull that tight. And we're gonna burn it off. Smash that in. We'll do the same thing down here on the bottom. And I'm wrapping this with the twist of the string, how the string twists, so that hopefully I'm not causing any peep rotation by doing this. So snug it up, kind of space those out a little bit better. I'm gonna redo those. It's just because I'm being picky. So snug it up and start my wraps again. There's several different ways you can tie these peeps in. This is just the way I prefer to do it. Been doing it this way for about 10 years, and I've yet to have a peep move in the field. And keep my vise from moving here. Pulling on it too hard. Snug it up. Same thing. Burn it. Tap it in. Now we got our peep tied in, and we're ready to take a shot through the paper. All right, we're gonna fire a shot through the paper and see what we got. Hopefully we get a good tear and don't have to do that much adjusting. Wow, that's pretty impressive. Right out of the box, 3/16 of an inch, running dead level through the burger hole. And we might have a slight upward tear. I'm probably gonna shoot another one here in a second, just double check that, but this is about as good a tear right out of the box as you're gonna get. All right, so you can see we might have a slight, really slight left high tear, but straight out of the box, and that could be me a little bit because I'm not used to this bow. It's first shot out of the bow, period. You guys got to see it, but I've seen bows that wouldn't tune any better than this, and this is straight out of the box, first shot. So I'm pretty impressed with that. And what I may do is just let that be. We need to put about 250 shots or so on these strings to break them in before we do our final tune. So that's as good as it gets, guys. All right, so we're gonna get the Tight Spot Quiver mounted up here and get it adjusted. The whole spiel behind the tight spot fits tight to your bow, and so I'm literally gonna move this thing in where when I lock it down, it just barely misses that limb because I don't want any outside torque. So I'm being real picky with that. Okay, and it's just, that bolt's gonna barely miss, but I need to move it up a little bit because my arrows are down a little further than I want. I wanna make sure these knocks don't get in the dirt when I set this bow down. So we got 4 screws right here, 2 on each carbon rod. Move that arrow over, loosen them up. I'm gonna slide her up just a little. I kind of want those knocks to be pretty level with the bottom limb, where it should keep them out of the dirt. I'm gonna go just a touch more. Okay, about right there is where I'm gonna leave it. Snug these back down. Okay, so our tight spot quivers mounted, ready to go. And we're gonna put the stabilizer on and we'll be ready to shoot. This is just a quick detach mount I've got for my crossover stabilizer. I'm gonna screw in the front. Snug that down. And then pop this crossover stabilizer right into there. And we're ready to go shoot. We need to put about 250 to 300 shots on these strings to really break them in. Once we get them broke in, we'll do a final tune, hopefully here the next couple of weeks. So make sure you tune in and we'll show you that final tune.